What if the world's fastest-growing economies are about to make a game-changing move that could reshape the global financial system? The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are stepping up their efforts to adopt Ripple and its digital currency XRP, and this could have massive implications for the future of cross-border payments. These countries, representing over 40% of the world's population and a huge portion of global economic activity, are already some of the most influential players on the world stage. And now they're focusing on Ripple's blockchain technology to improve their financial systems. With Ripple's ability to offer faster, cheaper, and more efficient international payments, it's no surprise that BRICS countries are increasingly turning to this solution. This shift could reduce their reliance on the US dollar and traditional financial intermediaries, opening the door for XRP to play a central role in the global economy. Ripple's connections in key BRICS countries, such as Brazil, India, and even China, are growing, and the benefits of using XRP for cross-border transactions are becoming clearer. This could lead to a significant rise in XRP's demand and value as it becomes more integrated into global trade. If these nations continue to accelerate the adoption of Ripple and XRP, we could be looking at a future where XRP is a key player in the global financial infrastructure. Get ready, because the adoption of Ripple by BRICS nations could change the game for XRP and the entire world of digital payments. The BRICS nations, comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have always had a strong desire to carve out a new path for their economies, and they are now setting their sights on modernizing their financial systems. The traditional global payment system, heavily reliant on the US dollar, has not always been the most efficient, especially when it comes to cross-border payments. The costs, delays, and reliance on intermediaries make international transactions a major challenge for countries in the BRICS group. That's where Ripple and its digital currency XRP come in. Ripple's blockchain technology is designed to solve these very problems, offering a faster, cheaper, and more secure way of transferring money internationally. Ripple's ability to provide liquidity in real time and settle cross-border payments almost instantly is exactly what BRICS nations need to streamline their financial processes. The payment infrastructure in many BRICS countries is often outdated, and the need for a modern solution is clear. With Ripple, they can make payments more efficient and reduce the cost of sending money across borders. In fact, some of these countries, like Brazil and India, have already begun exploring Ripple's technology, seeing the benefits it offers to businesses and financial institutions. But it goes beyond just improving payment efficiency. One of the key reasons BRICS is turning to Ripple is to reduce their dependence on the US dollar in international trade. For years, the global financial system has been heavily influenced by the dollar, with countries relying on it as the primary reserve currency. This has put BRICS nations at a disadvantage, especially when it comes to trade outside of the Western-dominated financial networks. Ripple offers a way to bypass the US dollar and facilitate trade directly between BRICS countries using a more flexible and efficient payment system. As Ripple's technology continues to gain traction within the BRICS group, it opens up new possibilities for XRP. Since XRP is the bridge currency used within Ripple's network, increased adoption of Ripple technology means more demand for XRP to facilitate these transactions. If more BRICS countries adopt Ripple, we could see a significant rise in the demand for XRP, potentially driving its value higher. As these countries look to modernize their financial systems and move away from outdated methods, XRP could be the solution they've been searching for. The growing interest in Ripple and XRP within the BRICS countries isn't just about adopting new technology, it's about taking control of their financial futures and reducing reliance on traditional centralized financial institutions. This shift could open the door to a new era of cross-border transactions, where Ripple and XRP play a major role in shaping the future of global trade and finance. As this adoption accelerates, we might witness XRP becoming a major asset in international payments, gaining traction beyond the BRICS group and into the larger global market. As we look at the potential impact of the BRICS nations adopting Ripple and XRP, it's important to understand how this could significantly affect XRP's value and its position in the global financial ecosystem. The more these countries adopt Ripple's technology, the greater the demand for XRP will be. Ripple's network relies on XRP as a bridge currency to facilitate transactions across borders, meaning that as more payments are made using Ripple's system, the more XRP will be required to settle those payments. This growing demand is likely to push XRP's value higher, especially if it becomes the go-to solution for global cross-border transactions. One of the biggest factors driving this potential surge in XRP's value is the limited supply of the token. Unlike some cryptocurrencies that have an unlimited supply or constantly increasing circulation, XRP has a fixed supply of 100 billion coins. This limited supply, coupled with increasing demand as Ripple's adoption grows, could lead to significant price appreciation. If Ripple becomes the preferred method of cross-border payments for BRICS nations and other global players, the demand for XRP could outstrip its supply, which would likely cause the price to rise. Ripple's technology has already been adopted by a number of financial institutions worldwide, and the BRICS nations are starting to follow suit. Brazil, India, and Russia are already exploring the use of Ripple's payment solutions, and China, which has been making efforts to modernize its financial sector, could be next in line. If more countries within the BRICS group integrate Ripple's technology into their financial systems, it could create a domino effect, with more countries and institutions looking to adopt Ripple and XRP as the standard for cross-border payments. This would drive up the demand for XRP significantly. The real kicker here is that Ripple's integration within BRICS countries isn't just limited to financial institutions, it also involves a wider range of businesses and individuals who would benefit from faster and cheaper cross-border payments. As Ripple's technology becomes more deeply embedded in the financial infrastructure of BRICS nations, the use of XRP could become mainstream, leading to widespread adoption. This could open the door for XRP to be used in other regions as well, creating a global demand that could push the price to new heights. Additionally, the regulatory clarity Ripple is working toward, especially in key markets like the United States, could further strengthen the position of XRP in the global market. As Ripple continues to make strides in regulatory compliance, institutional investors and banks may feel more comfortable integrating XRP into their operations, which would again drive up demand and value. In short, the adoption of Ripple and XRP by BRICS nations could be the catalyst that propels XRP into the mainstream, increasing its value, adoption, and global influence. For those holding XRP, this growing demand from BRICS nations could signal huge potential for future profits. If XRP becomes the primary currency for cross-border payments in emerging markets, its price could soar, benefiting long-term holders who recognize the value of holding onto their tokens as the global financial landscape shifts. For new investors, now could be a great time to start paying attention to XRP, especially as it starts to gain ground in some of the world's most influential economies.